Are you live already? I'll link you again.
Copy that link, drop into the group.
Yes, I'm doing it.
All right, good evening, everyone. Please drop in the chat session if you can hear me. If you can hear me, please drop in the chat section. We are set for the 30 days Microsoft Office journey. If you are here with me, kindly drop in the comment section. If I'm audible enough, please, if you can hear me, if I'm audible, let me know. All right. If you can hear me, please drop in the chat section. We are set for... All right, good evening. I think I have seen some chats that already indicate that I'm audible. Forgive me for the other day due to network and some challenges, and even today we had a bit challenge, but by God's grace, God has seen us through. Today we begin with our journey. Before I proceed into what we have today we'll be starting with Microsoft Word, like you can see on the screen, Microsoft Word. However, it is no news, it's no longer news that if one is not computer literate, if one is not tech inclined in this age, that person is highly disadvantaged. It's no longer news. It's not a breaking news anymore. It's something that each and every one of us is conversant with. Now let me reiterate what brings about this training, which some have called me personally, some have even said, Mr. Franklin, don't you know that people don't appreciate free things? And why will you even put it free if they want to let them pay and stuff like that? And I told them I have my reasons. And the reason is very simple. The reason is very simple. The gap I see between graduates and tech in this age is very wide, especially these basic tech skills. Being part of an interview session, we have 500 persons. We are to be in an interview, and only 1% can use Microsoft Office. It dawned on me that it was a huge challenge for graduates, for job seekers who don't really understand what they need in the 21st century job market. Let me confidently say this. If you are here, you have first class, your first class is totally useless without computer skill. Quote me anywhere, any day. Your first class is totally useless without a tech skill, at least a basic tech skill. And that is one reason that prompted me to take this action, to take this training for free. If you have been my friend on Facebook since the beginning of this year, you will see that I have been so loud, speaking, preaching for graduate job seekers to get at least the basic Microsoft Office skills. However, also in commemorate to celebrate my wife's birthday, which is by May, that's when we started mobilizing this. Now, having stated that fact, let's move to what we have today. Today we'll be starting a journey in Microsoft Office packages, which is called Microsoft Word. And Microsoft Word is one of the software, is one of the app, is one of the software in Microsoft Office suite. So when you want to go to install Microsoft Office, I'm taking this from the scratch. So please, if you're already aware of what I'm saying, permit me. That's why I conducted a survey in the group so as to know the persons that are in for this training. Now, I saw some persons, most persons said no knowledge, some said basic theory knowledge. So because of them, to carry everyone along, I'm going to be establishing some facts. as we proceed. Now, in this Microsoft Word is part of a software in Microsoft Office suite. I have seen persons who have been I won't call it scam, it's out of ignorance, and they will go to an engineer, and the engineer will tell them, okay, to install Microsoft Word for you, you pay 1,000. To install Excel for you, 1,000. PowerPoint for you, 1,000, and that, and all of them will sum up to so amount. Please, if you're a newbie here, you haven't used Microsoft Office before, and you want to use Microsoft Word, just walk up to any engineer or any place and tell them you want them to install Microsoft Office for you. Don't go and tell them you want them to install Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel. No, Microsoft Word is part of the software of the Microsoft Office suite. Now, having established this, we proceed to what is Microsoft Word. If you go for an interview, like you all know, most of you here know I'm a recruitment consultant. My name is Franklin. Forgive me for not introducing myself. My name is Franklin. I'm a recruitment consultant, a data scientist, the lead consultant, Soluma Consulting. Now, if you go for an interview and they ask you, I have asked people that in interview, what type of software is Microsoft Word? Do you know Microsoft Word? And they say yes. And I ask, what type of software is Microsoft Word? And most persons don't really even understand what type of software is Microsoft Word. They don't even understand what type of software is Microsoft Word. Now, tonight, Microsoft Word is a word processing application or software. If they ask you what type of software is Microsoft Word, note that is referred to as word processing. Is a word processing application. Word processing application is used for editing, formatting, and the likes. So it's not something It's called word processing application. And tonight we are going to be starting a journey on how to effectively use Microsoft Word. On how to effectively use Microsoft Word. Now, if you install Microsoft Office newly, you are not going to get to this place. This is not the first place to go to. You most likely going to get to there is a place where you are most likely to get to, where let me get to new. Now, as you can see on your screen, this is most likely the place you will come first, where you will see some of the templates. Here is the blank document. When you click here, it will take us right inside the Microsoft Word interface. Here is what we refer to as Microsoft Word back office, back end. Those of us in programming can understand what we mean by back end. So when you scroll down, you see different templates for different stuff you want to do. Different templates, you see different templates. You see the employer of the month appreciation certificate, award, and stuff like that. You see different templates. Like you can see here, you can see resume, chronological resume, different aspect of template. If you click here, if you have internet and click here, you're a business person, you want to develop develop some business flyers and stuff like that. You come here, you see how a template in reporting, you see a template in brochure, and different templates. And I must say that this mostly work with internet. If you don't have access to internet, this most likely will not work. So it is for you to ensure you have access to internet like I have this night. That's why you are seeing different templates. You want to design a business card. You want to design complimentary card, flyer, and what have you. You see those templates here. Now, having established that, you can still come back. They are different. You want to different greeting cards, flyers, letters, education. On your own, you can do well to check them out. Now having said that, there is a place I want to take us to. There is a place I want to take us to, simply for us to be able to be conversant. For us to be conversant with what happens here, mostly is this place where you can see right there on your screen, more. So on that place, you click there, and the sub menu will appear. If you want to know what type of office, what version of Microsoft Office was installed for you in your system, you click on the account. When you click the account, it will take you to your Microsoft Office account. Your Microsoft Office account, that is where you will know the kind of office that is being installed for you. Like you can see here, we are using Office 2021. And let me say this, the interface of Office 2021, 2019, 2016, and 2016 looks a bit similar. Office 2013 and Office 2010, they are different, kind of. So here is where you can set up your team. The theme is the color, how the way you want the color to be. If you want it to be, if you want the color to be dark gray, like you can see here, already the dark gray, depending on your choice, you can change to black, dark black, depending on your choice. Forgive me, my system is kind of have been a bit slow. I don't know why that is happening. I don't know why. I don't know why that is happening, but I think it will rectify. It's trying to be conversant with everything we are happening. All right, now this is where you. But me, I like it on the way it is. I like it that like this. That's the way I prefer it. Some persons prefer it in a different way. So here is where you get to see what is happening in. It's where you get to see what is happening in your office, the kind of office you have. Then there is another aspect we have here, which is option. I need to show you stuff here, which is option. Is going to show, is going to load. And because of this, let me tell us this. This is to digress a bit, but it's still part of my computer stuff. When you are going to get a system, when you want to buy a system, please understand what you want to use the system for. What this is, what my system is doing now, it shows that is what make me to remember that. Know why you want to get the system, and then look for specification that suits what you want to do. If what you just want to do is typing as type setting, type and print, and then that you are not going to use it for big softwares, big work, then 2 gig RAM can be used. 2 gig RAM, I recommend Intel processor. Now there are key things you look at for when you are to buy a system. Having considered why you need that system, there are key things you look out for. In fact, I'm going to write an article for that tomorrow on my Facebook page. The things to look out for before getting a system. I'm going to bring it, but let me give us that quickly here in a nutshell. Look out for, in that system, look for the brand. The brand means HP, Dell, Toshiba, Lenovo, and that. And for me, I'm a lover of HP, not just because I love HP, because it's strong. Or if you are using Windows operating system, unless you are using MacBook, Mac is also very wonderful, very good if you know how to navigate your way through it. And then when you consider the brand, the next thing you consider is the RAM size. What's the RAM of that system? I recommend 4 gig RAM and above, unless you are only doing typesetting, unless you're only doing typing and printing. If you are doing other, I recommend 4 gig RAM and above. In fact, due to the softwares that are even coming up these days, my latest recommendation is from 8 gig RAM. Like you can see here, I'm using a streaming software. At the same time, I'm streaming through YouTube. At the same time, I have this opened. You can, if you like, you are seeing my screen, you can see my streaming software. You can see my stuff here. So you see different stuff open, and that made me not to even open another software for us. This why? Because the system capacity cannot really carry those softwares. But if it's like from 8 gig RAM, then it will be able to process it so easily. What RAM does is RAM gives your softwares the platform to operate seamlessly. RAM gives your software the platform to operate seamlessly. So look for the RAM. If you are getting a laptop new for stuff, maybe editing, maybe using different softwares, streaming softwares, you want to go into content creation, you want to go into AutoCAD, data analysis, and the likes, I recommend from 8 gig RAM. I strongly recommend. But if you have 4 gig already, you can upgrade. You just buy a 4 gig RAM and then give it to a system engineer just to upgrade it. It's very easy. It's not something difficult. Okay, another thing you look at for when you are buying a system is, let me see if I can take us through that. If I can take a bit of time to take us through that, so that we understand what I'm talking about here. Now, once for you to see for you to get to see your system properties. When you get it, you come to your File Explorer, like I have here, File Explorer, and then you click on your PC. You click on your PC, it brings you here. This is showing you that this is a 500 gig hard drive. The hard drive is 500 gig, and the space remaining is 194 gig remaining. So once you come to this place to see the major system properties that you need to consider, you right click, and this sub menu will appear. Then you go to properties. Apologies for digressing a bit, but this is very important for those of us who are new, who doesn't really understand how to get a good system. Now, like you can see, this is 4 gig RAM. Here is Windows 10. This is what I'm about to talk about, the processing speed and the processor. Like you can see here, you see that this is Intel Core i5. This is a Core i5 processor. Intel Core i5. I recommend anything from Core i3, Core i3, Core i5, Core i7, Core i9. Those Intel processor. There are two companies that manufacture processors across the globe. Intel and AMD. And if you inquire from different computer users, they will let you know that we prefer Intel to AMD, processor to AMD. So I will encourage you go for Intel. If you are getting, not that AMD is not good, AMD is also very good. AMD is good. My last system I used was AMD processor. The challenge AMD processors has is that they are always hot beneath. They are very, very hot, more than Intel processor. That's most of the challenge, and that makes the battery not to really last. Then you look out for this. Then you look out for the processing speed. This processing speed is something you are going to look out for. Anything from 2 gig above is okay. So that, then you check for your operating system, which is 64-bit, which is something that I will strongly recommend. Now, tonight, like we are going to have, is like an intro to what we are going to be going into to understand the Microsoft Word interface. So here you see the back office. Then you come to different stuff you can change here. Different stuff. Maybe I will be taking them one after the other per day. I will be talking about it one after the other per day. Now, having established that, we have talked about a bit of the Microsoft Word. Now, getting to the Microsoft Word interface, what we have here is what we refer to as title bar. Under the title bar, you see the name of the document. You see what we call quick access toolbar. You see the search button. You see the registration with Microsoft Word, Office rather. You see the minimize. You see the restore, you see the close. These are what makes up the title bar. Then below the title bar, you have the tab bar. These are referred to as tab bar, the 5 tab, home tab, insert tab, draw tab, and so on. Here also is the share tab, where you can share your document online in real time if your colleague is connected. Now, underneath it is what we call ribbon. This is what we call ribbon. Like I said, I'm going to go through this gradually, step by step. It's going to be step by step that every one of us will be carried along. Whether you're a newbie, whether you are an intermediate, I guarantee you there are new things you are going to learn as we proceed here. So this is called the ribbon. This ribbon replaces the menu bar or menu tab in Microsoft Office 2003, 2000 down below. This is what replaces those menu those drop down menu that shows. So each tab has its own ribbon. This ribbon displays the functions of the home tab. As you can see, what is active here is the home tab. This displays the function of the home tab. Then we have insert. We have the insert tab, which displays the function of the insert. This ribbon displays the function of the insert tab. The same way we have the draw tab. We have when you click on the draw tab, you have the ribbon. This displays the functions of the draw tab. Now, beneath it, we have what we call the ruler bar. This is the ruler bar, which you can use to set up the of your document. This is the ruler bar, horizontal ruler bar, and the vertical ruler bar. This is called the scroll bar. This is the word of your document. Then this here is what we refer to as the status bar. Status bar, which shows in this place you see the number of words, you see the number of pages, even characters if we got it open. And this is the word, this where the Word document, the page. This is the page where you enter data, in Microsoft Word. Now, all these are different functions. All these, as we can see here, are different functions. Very good functions. Paste is a good function that most times some of persons don't understand how to use this. I'm going to be guiding us through how to use the paste option. Then we move to under this, we have what we call the font group. Here is all about the fonts. Is the font group. Here is the paragraph group. Everything as regards to paragraph formatting, setting of your wordings, you see it here. Then here is the style group. There is the editing group, and here is the adding groups. Now, under the home tab. Now, before I proceed towards what we have to, in fact, we will be starting properly. We'll be starting practically tomorrow proper, so as each and every one of us to get acquainted with what we have. Once you click on it, you see all this. This one is marked good, this one is marked good, you see them here. But the where I want us to go for is this called more command. Yes, you can get it, but this I choose to use this way. So more commands. Then under customize ribbon. Now under the customize ribbon, this is where you can customize your own ribbon. What that means, now tab, like you see the insert tab, like you see the draw tab, you can add your own. And how can we do that? We come to customize ribbon. When you get to quick access toolbar, you select customize ribbon, and then you come to new tab. Let's minimize this home tab. Now this is what we have. Then you come to here called new tab. When you click on new tab, you can see a new tab has already been added. So you can click on it, right click, and then you can rename it. Let me call it Soluma. I can call it this, and then I say okay, that name is there. Then under the group, remember here I told us that this is the clip, or this is the font group. Under the group, that's where you put in different functions. So here, when we click on this, and then we rename it, and then we call it data, for example, and then we say okay. and then we say okay. We haven't put anything under it, but for you to know that you can you can create a customized tab. So once we click on it, you see it's empty, and that is where we will wrap up the session tonight. Tomorrow we are going to be starting fully on how to design in Microsoft Word. So you can see I'm having a low stuff here. So tomorrow we are going to be taking up a journey on how we can use Microsoft Word to design, use Microsoft Word to format, and at the same time use Microsoft Word for different data stuffs, different data